Yesterday, Liverpool were looking to extend their lead at the top of the Premier League against Fulham. Commentary from Steve Wilson.
From us. Well-deserved 3 points and big one. It's not just because it's Liverpool. We needed to bounce back from the last two games, and to do it in a way we did it is great.
In your first spell at Fulham, I think you got 25 goals. I mean, you were a very regular goal scorer. Do you feel that's coming back into your game?
A little bit. I'm getting the attacking instinct back a little bit. Obviously, my time away from the club when I was at Spurs, I was probably used as more of a defender. So, yeah, I feel like more games I'm playing higher up the field, it's all coming back to me a little bit. So, yeah.
I thought Calvin Bassey really stood up and put in an outstanding performance for you.
Yeah, it was a great run from him. Calvin, if he is able to keep as more as he can the focus on his roles and in our organisation, he has all the skills to be a top central defender.
And not often that we concede 3 goals, let alone in one game, let alone in 15 minutes. And then, if you look at the goals we conceded, I think all 3 of them, we could have prevented it. I think the second half performance is much more like the team we are. But yeah, it's conceding 3 goals in the manner we did is, of course, not of the standards of Liverpool, that's clear.
Well, Fulham deserve all the praise, don't they, here, Shay? Because whilst Liverpool were uncharacteristically sloppy in the first half, that was down to how Fulham attacked them.
It was a bit of both, wasn't it? Fulham brilliant going forward, and Liverpool defensively very poor. Anna Slot said in his interview there that 15 minutes of sort of madness in the first half, and it's not like Liverpool at all. We see them defending so well. They're top of the league for a reason, because they're brilliant at the back. We look at the back four, of course. Jones playing out of position. We know he's not a right back. He's fitting in obviously for Trent, missing Conor Bradley, who's back on the bench today, came on second half. But again, naturally he's not a defender, is he? But in this instance he does okay. Actually defends well. He gives it Kanate, and I don't know what Kanate in the first half really was all over the place. I don't know what he tried to drag back in his own box. I think they really got away with it. I think even Keller here at this moment takes Pereira down, doesn't get anything on the ball. Could have been a penalty. I'm not sure what VAR made of that, but they get away with one. Very, very lucky in that instance not to concede. Again, you look at Lucas running from midfield, Kanate in the space. He should come across and cover that space, but he's too worried about the 2 in the middle. And again, watch Kanate's movement here. Look, watch this. This is just an easy clearance and the swing. And look at Van Dijk's reaction. You go, that's not good enough. You know, mentally they're not tuned in first half today for whatever reason. They thought maybe the game was going to be too easy. But again, then you don't take nothing away from Fulham. They're committing bodies forward, getting bodies into the book. How many bodies are committing forward again? Kanate, I think, possibly could do better with the header. Van Dijk's just on his heels and it's a brilliant finish, you know, take nothing away from the finish.
But they've got bodies there, haven't they?
Well, they've got bodies, they've committed people forward. You're playing against Liverpool, you see many teams sitting in a low block, not you know, pressing high. It's the opposite from Fulham today, really were on the front foot. Robertson near enough makes 3 mistakes. He tries to pick out Jones, the opposite end of the pitch. He shanks the life out of into Iwobi, and then they're in bang trouble. Now you see get back, Andy again gets involved with maybe a poor header, and they chap it off. It's the 3rd sort of mistake in a short space of time, and nicks off him on the way through. And that's just maybe unlucky at times for Andy Robertson, but again, probably poor defending. Again, Jones watching the ball. Iwobi's, you know, quick. We know how quick he is down the wing. Now, can he stop the ball in the box, Danny? Can he stop crosses? You know, again, not naturally a defender. Another good save from Keller. This was all first half, and again, this is the 3rd goal, and this is obviously the end up the winning goal. Look at this for an assist from Iwobi.
That is an assist.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. But again, look at Van Dijk. He needs to be stronger. But I would like to just highlight Muniz here as well, because this is what's his first touch here. Look. Unbelievable. 2nd touch again just to kill it down.
He should get the assist and the goal, shouldn't he?
Well, that's what sometimes winds me up about assists is Iwobi's going to get assist on the back of that. But again, it's a mixture of brilliant play from Fulham and again very poor defending from Liverpool.
As far as Liverpool were concerned, with Arne Slot several times this season in different competitions, his substitutions have made a big difference. They did today without obviously them getting the 3 points.
Yeah, and obviously he's not afraid to make changes. These changes came at 55 minutes and at 67 minutes, and 5 minutes after this last set of changes, the goal comes. But just see Bradley here, more natural, look, goes inside, gets the ball. Diaz is here, but I just want to highlight Salah. Having Salah here makes Calvin Bassey come flying out. He wants to stop the shot, but he also knows he has to go double up. And it's a lovely little ball from Bradley into Diaz, who takes a quick first touch, and you watch it here, right foot, bang, bang. That's so quick. Keeper can't get set. Defender can't get to him. In this instance, they're coming down the left-hand side of Andy Robertson. Look at Harvey Elliott, not standing there and watching. He's waiting for something to happen. This is so unlucky. The technique is beautiful to watch. He just fires that to the far post. If that goes in that top corner, they're on that roll and they're feeling like they can win again. They even brought Chiesa on. I think he's had about 45 minutes all season, so they thought give him a bit longer. But look, even he gets in the mix and gets a great shot for another good save for Bert Leno. And again here, look, Chiesa tried to run and be ideas with the ball. Big hit right away out to Harvey Elliott. Into Salah. This is a lovely little touch here. And on another day, that goes in the far corner. Unfortunately, it falls to Harvey Elliott's right foot. But they were excellent. It just wasn't to be, and Fulham took all the points.
I suppose they're 11 points clear at the top of the table still, so it is kind of nitpicking here. But I suppose the one thing you can maybe throw a question to Arne Slot is, could he have rotated more at times during the season? He would say, we're 11 points clear, so no.
Yeah, exactly. I think he probably could have, but when he has rotated in the FA Cup, they lost and then everyone hammered him for losing. So he's going to sit there and say, I'm going to play the best team I can. We're 11 points clear. Leave me alone.
Actually, which is why I wouldn't ask him the question. You want to highlight Calvin Bassey, who Marco Silva praised afterwards?
Yeah, I mean, he's had a brilliant game, and I think he's had a really good season, actually, if I'm being honest. I think Marco Silva mentions after, if he can be more consistent, Calvin Bassey, then he's a top defender. He's got a brilliant defender on his hands. You know, he's at Glasgow Rangers for a couple of years. He went to Ajax, and I think he's more comfortable on the ball since he's been to Holland and come back. You know, he's 25, he's in his prime, and I like this. This is sometimes it's gone out of the game, but out and out defending, not letting Jones turn, you know, ratting him all the way. Sometimes centre half let him go, but he goes all the way in, Mark, and doesn't let him turn again. And watch this, you know, again, he's strong, not letting him turn. You know, Salah could be slipped in there, but Bassey, I don't know what he's doing here, actually. He goes in a mad overlap, and then he goes in an underlap. I think he's enjoying his football this stage, because he is really trying to stretch Liverpool
He's a bit
back
tired
forward.
at this point.
He's a bit tired at the end, but he wins himself a corner, so naturally he's in the box to attack the corner. But this is back to the bread and butter stuff. Watch this for a block, you know. When you're a goalkeeper and your centre half in front, he's doing that, Mark. You just love that. It's brilliant defending, you know, throwing your body in, like whatever it takes to stop. And again, we know how strong Mo Salah is, but not today. Look at Bassey, how strong he is there. And then again, is he comfortable? If he's not got options going forward, just he cut back again, and now he's like thinking drag backs. He's turned into Johan Cruyff, thinking. But again, it's brilliant play from Bassey. He looks like he's enjoying his football again. Back to the day job, brilliant block, and again he backs it up with. Watch this for a run. I don't know where he gets the energy from, but after it even goes out, look at his.
But look at the crowd.
Oh, I love it. I mean, he's nearly celebrating with the crowd. I think they appreciate his performance, and Marco knows he's got a top player. And I'm going to say something about random. You two probably might disagree with now. I look at the opposite centre half today, Van Dijk. He's a phenomenal player. He's had a similar sort of pathway, gone to Glasgow Celtic. You know, no club would look at him. Southampton took him, and now he's the career he's had. Am I getting ahead of myself to say that Bassey possibly could be in that bracket, or is that too much?
I think it's a little bit of a stretch, but I do understand the comparison. I think what you have to look at as well is the consistency. The problem when you have such a good game like that now, everyone knows what he can do. So if you fall short of those standards, Marco's got to hammer him, and then we're probably going to hammer him. So now for Calvin Bassey...
Well, that's what Marco's saying.
Absolutely.
Marco's saying, I want you to be more consistent.
And if he is, then he can go on and have that career, if he is consistent.
You spoke to Marco on Friday, didn't you, Marco Silva? You know well from your days at Watford. I mean, they are flying, our Fulham, at the moment. What does he want to take them to the next stage? What does he need from his group of players?
Obviously, he wants consistency. He's been talking about that for the last few weeks. He's actually talking about taking me to dinner, so I don't know how happy he's going to be that I told you he was talking. But obviously, the biggest thing for Fulham, 53 points is the most they've ever had in their Premier League history. They're on 48 at the moment. Their consistency, their performance has been really good. They've just missed that key moment to kill teams off. And today, you looked at it, they got the goals, and then they rode their luck a little bit in the second half, but they probably were the deserved winners.
Right, 3 games.
I think especially 15 minutes of the first half. I saw also parts before we conceded the second one. Normal parts for us. So I saw some very good build-up situations, the way we positioned ourselves. So it wasn't 45 minutes of disaster. But the errors we made, I think, is something we're not used to. And that's something different than playing poorly, in my opinion.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, it must have disappointed you, those errors.
Yes, of course, but not only me, the players themselves, the teammates, the fans, it disappoints us all. But one of the reasons why we are in the position we are in is we don't make a lot of mistakes, and if we do, players try to make up for them. Now, this is also what we tried to do with the second goal, but unfortunately, instead of the ball being deflected going in behind, it went into goal. So this can happen, especially if you play a good team like Fulham. If you make mistakes, they have the quality to punish us, and I think in the end we created second half so many chances that we could have made up for it. But we lacked time. We lacked time, especially in the end, because in the first 20 minutes in the second half, it didn't feel to me as if we could score a goal. But in the last 20, 25 minutes, I think it was clear for everyone that we could score the third. That's why actual playing time wasn't the most in the last 25 minutes.
Given the advantage Liverpool obviously had going into this game, do you think there was a bit of complacency in the first half, or do you think it was just errors?
Nah, I think it's the last thing. I think there's no reason for us to be complacent because we are not leading. We're not number one at the moment because we win every game with a margin of 3 or 4 goals. I think everyone that has seen our games, it takes us so much effort, so much hard work to win games of football, combined with quality, of course. But yeah, the team that won the league the last 4 seasons were already 3-0 up at halftime every single game almost they played, and that's not the way it is for us. So we are fully aware of the fact that we have to compete for 7 now it is, I think, 7 more games. We saw it on Wednesday when we played Everton. It was a close call. Today was a close call, and many times we've been on the right side. Today we were on the wrong side, mainly because of the errors we made.
There was a couple of moments of uncertainty with Virgil van Dijk. It probably has been in the last couple of games. Does that come with the territory of being this late in the season, or is it something you could probably look in deeper and criticise?
I mainly give credit to other players as well. So if you look at Beto, he's not the first defender. Virgil not the first defender who finds it difficult to play against Beto, because he's so every time he's chasing for every ball, pushes it just before you get the ball. And yeah, the one that played there today was also, you have to give credits to him as well. I think I still see a lot of things that Virgil does really well. And if you play 50, 60 games a season, there will be also, even for him, 1 or 2 moments where he could have done better. But in general, I think if I look at Virgil's performance against Everton, except for this one time he missed the ball, he was outstanding. So I don't worry about him.
What was your message to the players afterwards? And would you agree that the league table still looks unbelievable for you with 7 games to go?
The message was mainly that I think that I told them that they showed great character the second half. But not for the first time this season. We had a difficult first half. It didn't happen a lot, but I can come up with Southampton at home, for example, where we played quite poorly. And normally we are able to make up for that because of the mentality of the team, how fit they are, the subs we can bring. But today it wasn't enough, and now we have a whole week to prepare for West Ham. And everyone needs to be aware, and they are. So I didn't even have to tell them. But the only way we can win a game of football is by hard work, 90 minutes, constant effort. Because I've said it, I think a few times now, we are not the team that's leading at halftime with 3 or 4-0 with 3, 4, 5 acts of brilliance. It's hard work every time we won a game of football this season, except for 2 or 3 games.
James? You only made the one change, obviously, from the derby in midweek. Considering how flat it was for sections of that first half, do you regret not freshening it up to a greater extent?
No. Not because of that reason, because I think there were 4 days in between. And we've showed many times this season that that's not a problem at all for us, these players as well. And I don't think the errors we've made had anything to do with players being tired. And again, I know how it works. It's everywhere the same in football. If you concede 3 goals in the first half, everybody's like, wow, that was a disaster. Now, if you look back at it knowing that you concede 3, you will probably see a few good moments as well. Because there were also good moments from us in build-up. I think after half an hour I looked at it was 1-1. I was like, okay, it's not our best game, but we have control over the game. But then all of a sudden I blinked my eyes and we were 3-1 down.